And so when I finished my first degree in 1988, I went back to our mission in the village, translated Dr. Martin Luther's catechism into my language for our church to have something to work with in our local language. For 2 years, I worked with them, and I was hoping to be able to, get to the seminary here in the United States, but that didn't work out because the president of our church at the time did not want to see somebody from the unrecognized northern part to haven't had a degree and in foreign languages and education to come out here. And then, of course, I was perceived as a threat, more or less. They wouldn't say this to you openly, but you feel it by the way they delay you and they tell you wait here and there, and that kind of thing. So I finally became very desperate. And after an experience that was very, very quite terrifying, another missionary who had come and was an agricultural missionary. Reverend Moss was gone. Reverend Sipes had come back home. And now I was working with Dr. Ralph von Quaylen and his family. They were agricultural missionaries living in a neighboring tribal area, the Concomba area. And I had to come and work with him because they had built his house. But he couldn't read French. And we got most of our materials, like the tiling materials, from Togo, the neighboring country. And he couldn't read French. So I had to come in there, help with the varnishing of the wardrobes and the tiling of the floors. And so I remained with them for some time. And while we were, planting season had come, and while we were going on with the usual planting of plot, they call it demonstration plots and things like that, one night around 2 a.m., that was in 1990, we got attacked by armed robbers. It was really a very scary thing. I have to thank God that I got saved. I wasn't shot, but Ralph was shot, and a watchman, our night watch, was shot. He died just when we got to the hospital. But thankfully, I had already donated blood to this Baptist hospital where we went. And so I already knew the lab technician. I said, look, don't waste time testing to know my blood type. I'm a 0 positive. It goes to anybody. Anybody can receive it, so you know it. And it was my blood that was used to resuscitate Ralph because he was almost going into coma when we got there. And then later on, they got more blood from Americans who were resident and working in the neighborhood. And that experience also has kind of shaped me a lot. You look at the fragility of life. You look at how, very easily you're gone. And it's transformed me intellectually. I want to live 100 years in one day. I want whatever I can do to advance society. I would like to do that. All right. So yeah, this is how the experience I got in 1990 with Ralph von Quaylen. He's back home now in Iowa. And I plan to visit him this coming summer. But I had to stay with him again because there was no opportunity for me to come out here to go to the seminary, all right? And so I realized at the end that I was wasting my time because I was not going to ever be allowed to come out here to do, seminary work here. So I had to decide to change my plans. And I decided to go back to graduate school. Now, I'm summing up this very quickly. When I went back to graduate school, I started out at the University of Ghana. I spent 3 years there. And at the University of Ghana, they have a program that is an exchange program with one of the campuses of the University of California. And that year, 1990, the end of the year, they interviewed me along with several other graduate students, and I was adjudged the best Faculty of Arts student. And therefore, I was supposed to be sent to the University of California, one of those campuses, to begin my research, collect data, and go back and finish my Master of Philosophy, they call it, MPhil, all right? Interestingly, I didn't get to come because the professor then who was running graduate studies program came and, picked me from my dorm and asked me, Mr. Bukari, are you a uni scholar? I said, uni scholar. I hadn't heard that term before, but I figured he meant, was I, did I do my undergraduate studies in the University of Ghana? And I said, no, I've completed my BA, my Bachelor of Arts in the University of Cape Coast, from the University of Cape Coast, and got my education degree there too. He said, oh, no, you can't go on this program. You can't go on this program. It's for uni scholars. I was shocked that I'll be a citizen of Ghana, be in a graduate school in a college that would not send me out, even though I deserved to be sent out, just because I had had my undergraduate degree in a different university. That was kind of strange to me, but that was how, I mean, you asked me how I got here. Yes. So I spent 3 years in the University of Ghana. The research was not progressing. The professor I was working with was not helpful. And he would call me and tell me things that you wouldn't believe. And again, here we're touching on regionalism. I'm touching on tribalism. For a long time in the history of our country, there has been this tension between Northerners and Southerners. And Northerners have always been the slave people working in the plantations and doing all the odd jobs, all right? And so, at least that's the way I interpreted it, because he called me one day and said, Mr. Bukari, you don't need a master's degree in French. What are you going to do with it? You can go back to your people and they will elect you as a parliamentarian. He told me that. So I didn't qualify to go beyond to get any higher degree. And quite frankly, he finally called me and told me he wouldn't supervise me anymore and should go and fend for myself.